Welcome to the Instagram stories for Wednesday, November 24th. The biggest news today comes from socialmediatoday.com, who reports that Instagram is launching live testing of longer videos in stories. Let's talk really quickly about how videos in stories work right now. So you can hold down your finger on the video record button inside stories, and you can record up to a 60-second story, but it will be split into 15-second increments, which can be a little bit awkward if you are saying a word at that time when it changes over from second 15 to second 16, for instance. The screenshot that I'm looking at from Instagram says, introducing longer stories, videos up to 60 seconds long will no longer be broken up into segments. Now you can add music and effects to the full video. Instagram provided a quote, "The ability to create longer stories posts comes highly requested by our community. We're excited to be testing 60-second stories so that people can create and view stories with fewer interruptions." End quote. So this is being tested with a small group of users, seeing how it goes based on the feedback from that group. Just as a reminder, Instagram is doing its best to consolidate video formats, which makes sense. There have been way too many formats on Instagram for video for way too long. Adam Mosseri talked about this recently with IGTV retiring, and he said, quote, "We're looking at how we can, not just with IGTV, but across all of Instagram, simplify and consolidate ideas, because last year we placed a lot of new bets. I think this year we have to go back and to our focus on simplicity and craft," end quote. If I had to put money on where I see this all going, at some point, Instagram will have one kind of video across the entire app, and you'll be able to put it in different places. That's my guess. The only difference in that would be that, for instance, stories might have engagement stickers where reels would not. You could put a text to appear at a certain time on a reel that maybe you couldn't necessarily do on a story the same way. So I think there will be nuanced differences in how they work, but overall, there's just way too many video formats on Instagram, and it needed to be consolidated for a long time. In other news, there's a trend going around Instagram. I sometimes talk about trends, but not always, because I try to focus on the news. But in this case, I think this is an interesting one, using the Add Yours sticker. If you're not familiar, the Add Yours sticker is something that you can have in stories where you can add a photo or a video to a group post. In this particular case, the trend is to go on Urban Dictionary, see what it says about your name, take a screenshot of it, and add it to the Add Yours sticker. I will warn you that urbandictionary.com is not a website for the faint of heart, so be warned. But I think this is a creative idea, and it's nice to see some of the nice things that people say about people who have the same name as you. Okay, that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks for listening. If you could, do me a favor, go on Apple Music and leave me a review for this podcast. I would really appreciate it. You can look for the Instagram stories. If you could just leave a review about why you like the show, how long you've been listening, any kind of information that will give people context about why they should listen to the show, I would really appreciate it. Come back tomorrow for more Instagram news, strategy, tips, and more.
I'm not yet a member of the Instagram team, but my podcast covers many Instagram themes. But the name, image, logos are trademarks at Instagram and the LCC in the USA and every territory. Everything I publish independently until Zuck returns my DMs and starts to pay my salary. Not sponsored or endorsed, no lies, no fallacies. I use their logo with permission, not malicious or callously. No trademark violation, filling all criteria. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Daniel Hill Media.
Have you ever just been so sick of social media that you felt like you didn't want to do it anymore and you just wanted to walk away and get your life back? Can you imagine a major brand doing that? Interestingly, the cosmetics company Lush said it was shutting down its Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat accounts because of the Facebook whistleblower. Now, I really want to make this into a story, but they said that they were going to do the same thing in 2019 and then they came back in 2020, so take that with a grain of salt.